What's up, dudes and dudettes? All right, today, per usual, my co-host is late. Surprise, surprise. Irvrum, aka Irvinator, aka Big Swerve, aka Irving, aka King Nerd. Hurry up, man. Get your ass in here. All right, so today we are tackling. Wow, I got to comment on this real quick though. Check it out. What? What? All right, today we are discussing superheroes, the superhero genre, and um the progression over time. So from being a media joke to what has become today a juggernaut. Look at the numbers, dude. You can't every other movie that comes out is along the lines. I even shows. I mean, it's spreading. It's becoming bigger and bigger. And I, for one, am excited about it. All right. So while we wait for this yokel, because I have no idea where my other co-host is at. He is MIA. Ivan, Ivan, are you out there? Hello, hello, Ivan. No.
I can't hear nothing.
Hello, hello.
Whoa.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got a serious echo.
Ah, that's not good, dude. That means no one could hear me that whole time.
Mm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you got like this serious echo.
Hmm. Let me see what's going on here.
I don't know if it's me. Let me leave the studio and come back in.
Well, let me check my audio real quick. Microphone. Yeah, USB device. Yeah, I think I'm all right on mine.
All right, let me leave and come back in.
Where was it? Oh yeah. All right, so 80. Yeah, hold on. Yo.
Yeah, I still hear it.
I don't know why it would be doing that. Well, let me see my audio. Check. You still hear it?
Yeah.
I have my echo cancellation on. Oh shit, my bad.
There you
I-
go.
yeah, my bad. I had my little sound effect up.
Yeah.
I didn't turn it all the way down.
You trying to be the great and powerful Ozma.
Hey, why the fuck I was talking that whole time? Now I don't even know what the fuck, dude. I had been talking for like 3 minutes before you came in.
Yeah. Live.
Yeah, live. So I don't even know how much of that was heard, dude.
That sounded like
Anyway,
Vader.
nah, you said you couldn't hear me at first. It wasn't until
Nah,
I turned the
at first
volume up.
you're right, I couldn't hear you.
Damn, that means nobody could hear me.
Yeah.
See, if my co-host was on time,
Hmm.
but he
Hmm.
was not, so we would have been able to deal with the audio issues. But he's
Who's your
he's having parent issues.
Who's your co-host?
Irv and Ivan. Ivan's
Oh.
MIA.
And Irv
Yeah.
he's having parent issues.
He's having parent issues. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Okay.
So anyway, let
So
me
what we
read
talking about
that.
this week?
All right.
Because
So
I vaguely read your text. Yeah.
all right, so let me take it from the top. Yo, what's going on, dudes?
What's up,
I am
dog?
here finally with some audio, and I got Kleiss, where you know it says Eastwood, right?
Oh yeah, I can
All right.
read. I
All
wrote
right,
this shit. I wrote this shit. Do I know it's? I fucking wrote this shit on there.
I don't know if it was there from last time or some shit. I don't know.
You think this shit just
We'll go with Eastwood.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so today is the superhero genre from joke to media juggernaut. And that's some real shit, right? Because it came from humble beginnings, dude. I mean, we are talking like fucking what, off the back pages of fucking newspapers and shit in a comic strip. Maybe, I don't know. Irv's supposed to be here to give us that nerd shit because he was alive in the 1920s. But I can just speak from my generation. You know, I grew up watching the 50s Adam West Batman. I would say aside from comic books, that was my introduction to superheroes. So, you know, in my generation, having gone from like real shit from this to this has been a fucking amazing adventure, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's I'm fulfilled.
Yeah.
I could die. I'm good.
No doubt.
But you know, it was also this. And look, let me say this.
Yes.
Yes, this was corny.
Yeah,
Okay?
but it's
But
what
it was
Batman
dope.
was then, right? That's what he
But it
was
was
then.
fucking dope, man. Those shows were well written. It was fun. It was
You know why though?
exciting.
Because it was like it was straight off a comic book page. You know what I'm saying? And they made it feel like that. And
That's
that's why it
true.
was so good. That's why it was so good.
I do wish they would create some show or some movie. Doesn't have to be Batman, you know, keep Batman dark and gritty. But I do wish they would keep that comic book kind of nostalgia. Let me bring in Big Swerve here. Big Swerve.
All right, guys. How's the audio?
Jesus Christ, what happened?
Sat there.
Ma
taking care of
didn't
issues.
make the meatloaf.
No.
Ma!
Ma!
I want some meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
I want it now.
The fuck,
Living the
dude?
dream,
You got.
baby. Living the dream.
Hey, listen, man. You gotta tell her you got a non-paying podcast to run, dude.
Yeah, dude.
She's just gonna have to understand.
She's gonna have to just,
Ner-
we have our
nerds got to
time.
do what nerds got to do, man.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They do. So hopefully the sound is better today than it was last time.
You know, it's only as good as it's gonna get if you don't have a microphone. But
Well, I'm on buds, so you should
I'm
be able to
on
be picking
buds
up.
too.
Yeah. So right now we're all doing buds. We're all
Yeah.
we're all doing buds. In
not
the
me,
air.
not me, man. I'm as straight laced as they come. I don't do
Nah,
drugs.
teetotaler.
He'd be
Teetotaler.
up under the table if he was doing buds.
Everybody's doing buds. Free the buds, yo. Free the buds.
Not me.
Yeah. So we're of course discussing, just how comic books became big into media. I see here. So class, let me just start off. I'd like how you guys are talking about 60s Batman.
Oh,
came out of
yeah.
the TV show. All right, so you have that going on. You have Adam West, Burt Ward, all sitting there, playing the roles. It was seen as a comedy, although I kind of guess that with the first season, they didn't get that it was a comedy. They just made it campy just because they assume comic books are campy. Never mind that Batman actually did start off as a very dark comic originally.
Yes.
In Detective Comics. He was just a masked vigilante in Detective Comics. I do believe it was issue number 3 or 5 he came in. And on that one, again, it was a one-shot character, but everybody thought he was great. Everybody thought, wow, there's this guy in costume running around. And by that time, everybody had already been listening to the radio shows, so they would hear, the Shadow, the Gray Ghost, all that stuff that you hear about in, like if you ever watch a Batman animated series that the Gray Ghost in there, that was their take on the Shadow. Yeah, who knows what evil is in the hearts of men? Shadow knows. Great radio shows. And that was where they leapt in. The superheroes didn't exist in a cohesive universe then. You started getting Superman and Adventure Comics, Action Comics, sorry. Action Comics. That's the first big superhero that you see introduced. And again, radio was the big thing. So they did radio shows on that. And then you had the Max and Walt Fleischer cartoons, the animated shorts for Superman. They were great. If Disney animated Superman, that's what it will look like, basically. This is the best way to look at it. Very well done. Brought Superman into the big time. You can see where it all starts. And there is an old school black and white Batman before the TV show. Nelson, if you can look at that image, it's
I've seen it.
Yeah,
he's got this pointy ass bat ears like this.
What was it?
It was before Adam West.
It was before Adam West.
Batman. Yep.
An older
Batman, a cartoon?
Black and white. No, black and white film.
Black and white movie.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, old school. And when it goes into and this is where it comes in. Like you look at it now, like how far comics have come, just as an IP, as a property.
Holy crap, that looks stupid as shit.
Yeah, you can post it up. Post it up. To give an idea,
That's fucking incredible, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, there's a whole that's the old school Batman and Robin. You
Get the
had
fuck out of here.
Yeah, and again, this was their attempt.
That looks like it could be a Bill and Ted.
Yeah, Bill and Ted.
Yeah, but this thing about back then, that was probably hot though.
Yeah,
that's true, man.
This was to entertain the kids. The Avengers were semi
What
darker
year
than
was
they
that?
were.
What was that? What year was that, man?
What?
What year was that?
This one I believe was in the late 30s, early 40s.
Okay.
And this
Yeah,
is
so
at the
that was the
time you had
shit.
all those serial movies, movie shorts,
Batman
things of that.
1943.
Yeah,
So that
43.
was
All right.
super, like that's about the time the first Superman was out too, right?
No, Superman
Um,
came out in the 30s. Superman came out in the
30s.
30s.
Okay, so
Yes.
yeah.
So you had the Action Comics #1. You had, again, it went to radio. It would go into short films, TV shows. Again, the premier thing at that point was the Max and Walt Fleischer cartoons for Superman. Classic animation, smooth, but they were short films. That's as far as media went. Radio, animated films, all those Nickelodeons, that's where it went. Then you got the golden age of comics. That's where everything started blowing up. You had DC, you had sort of the start of the big DC universe. You had Wonder Woman, you had Superman all teaming up during World War II. You had the
Captain
DC
America.
heroes. But together, you had the DC heroes go ahead and start their process in supporting the war. There's even one might say, yes, there was even a rather racist Superman ad, "Nip the Nips," by
Whoa.
U.S. stock bonds.
Whoa.
Yeah, "Nip the Nips." Yeah, I mean, these weren't politically correct times, and Superman could be a jerk back in the days. You'll see it in the first issue. If you ever read it, yeah, Superman could be a bit of a jerk because because he's strong and get away with things. Um, Batman lightened up around the 40s. This is where you get the Batman where he smiles more. They introduce Robin, the Boy Wonder. And of course, you have classic Captain America, who runs around not with a circular shield. There wasn't vibranium. None of that existed. He just had a shield, little
Right.
little shield that looked like a flag. And of course, his first issue, he's punching Adolf Hitler. He never does it in the comic, but come on. Where else can you get a superhero punching Adolf Hitler? That's great. Classic a comic book cover. Just read up into it. And then he had his boy
A lot of that.
sidekick.
A lot of that was propaganda.
Yeah. And he
Back
had
in
the
the
boy
day.
sidekick, Bucky. Every superhero had to have a boy sidekick or their little pal or their little friend. Oh, they all had it. They all had it. All the heroes. That was the idea of being a mentor to the young. So
I
yeah,
had
Batman
Nelson.
had to clean up his act. When Joker was introduced, he was based off of Alfred Hitchcock's The Man Who Laughs. But when he starts off, he's more of a naughty villain. He's not the dark killer clown that we see now. Um, but when that comes in later, and that's when you start getting past the Silver Age. That's where Batman starts to get back to his roots, and they introduce characters like Ra's al Ghul, Scarecrow, those kinds of his creepier villains. But yeah, that was the 40s. It was all propaganda. Um, then you got into the old Reeves Superman. Now, there was in 1941 a bunch of film shorts, black and white, Superman as well. And those had the main character, the main actor, I believe it's like, I have it here somewhere. Superman 1941. If you can look that up, Nelson, real quick. It's in there in the IMDb. Yeah, the Superman 1941. And the actor there was uncredited. That's how little impact in terms of media comic books had.
Is that a cartoon?
No, this was live action movie shorts. It was 41 they came out. This is before the George Reeves Superman, which is in the 50s.
Yeah, I'm not finding it. Hold on. Yeah, it's just coming up as a cartoon. 1941.
That's the Walt. That's the Fleischer. That's the Max and Walt Fleischer Fleischer production cartoons. If you look at the style of that animation, you'll see where they got the idea for Batman the Animated Series, which started the whole old school animation thing that DC started running with. in the 90s. It's based off of the Fleischer cartoons. They went with that style.
Mm-hmm.
So, you had the George Reeves Superman. Again, that, we all seen the story about tragic death, tragic suicide, all of that. But comic books were not being taken seriously then. They weren't. They were not a serious product. They will come out with films. And of course, then you go into the 60s, you get the Silver Age, the 60s, 70s, you get the Silver Age. This is where Marvel introduces Spider-Man, all the classic Marvel heroes.
But they were still kind of corny, man. All the Captain America, the Spider-Man, everything that kind of came out of that era was a little.
You look at Golden Age.
good for that time, you know what I'm saying? But
they were good for that time. Look at the Golden Age, Green Lantern, Golden Age, just again Batman, Green Lantern, all of them. Green Lantern wasn't even green. He wore a red costume. He had a green cape. He had a ring. That's it.
Yeah.
He wore a red costume. The Flash had a weird like biker helmet.
Vaguely remember that.
I think until Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby came out, comic book shows weren't really taken seriously, because this took a different route. Like it took the Hulk was in the show maybe 5 minutes each episode.
Oh, I agree, man. And that was Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah. That joint right there, it changed the game, because it wasn't just a comic book show. It was
it was a drama. It was a drama. It was a really good drama.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching that show, and what I was saying while I was muted and didn't realize it was that show was like, I guess it was like the 70s, whatever, in that era, 70s, 80s. There was a lot of shows where it was like vigilantism. It was sort of like someone or a group of people, and every episode they would somehow come across somebody who needed help, and they would help these people because the police or the government can't help them for whatever reason. That was a common theme in the 70s or 80s where when we grew up, and that's what Incredible Hulk was. It was this kind of like troubled scientist who had this secret, right? And he's got this side of him, and he doesn't want to be near people because of that. But he's basically a hitchhiker. So he just travels across America, but every fucking episode, something would happen where somebody needs help, and they would get him really fucking pissed off. And
Bill Bixby was amazing, dog. His acting chops. Hey, man, that dude right there, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I liked his role as David Banner. Well, notice it wasn't Bruce Banner; it was David Banner.
David Bruce Banner.
Yeah, they thought Bruce Banner sounded really gay, so they changed his name to David.
David Banner. Yeah, the double initial things, Peter Parker.
Yeah.
No, I get it. But
other characters, Mary Jane.
I want to be clear that was not.
One of her favorite names.
I wasn't making a joke. That was dead serious.
Yeah.
They thought Bruce sounded gay. Think about how stupid that is.
Right.
No, yeah. I mean, it's the reason why Brucey had to wear a mask when he was playing Kato in the Green Hornet, because he looked Asian, even though Kato was supposed to be Asian.
That's fucked up, dude.
Fucked up,
they're like,
yeah.
Hey, bro, you look too Asian. Can you wear this mask, please?
Wear this mask.
Wear this mask. He looks it's really
Asian.
He looks. They cover that in the.
Can you look less Asian?
Right.
Yeah.
Because if not, we got a mask.
We got a mask. Don't worry about it. There you go.
They couldn't get rid of
better.
Because, like,
that's better.
Hey, people are fucked up, man.
To go on Hollywood again. It's Hollywood. And what Hollywood will do, and I've said this over and over again, there's this myth about liberal Hollywood. No. Now, Hollywood is run and owned by some of the most stodgiest, old school, sexist, racist types ever. The only thing they care about is what's safe for the money. Everything is about money. Everything is about money.
So what superhero movie do you think made Hollywood take them seriously? Like this is gonna get us money. This is the way.
This is gonna get us money.
What movie do you think turn everybody heads and because that's what Hollywood is now. If you look at
Iron Man.
you think it was Iron Man.
The
Iron
movie
Man.
that the yes, I'm gonna go with Iron Man is the one that really, and they were taking a risk with this. There were other.
I should really quick just to iterate on what I was saying. There were successful comic movies like Tim Burton's Batman.
Well, that's what I was going with. Batman '89.
Right.
That was the one right there.
There were moments, but after Iron Man, it was back to back.
Well,
every movie that came after that.
That started the MCU. I get it. Marvel, I think that right there blew Hollywood out the water. The whole MCU thing, that thing they did. But
I'm gonna touch
on Burton's Batman made people realize that we can make money because it started with that, dog, and then if you noticed, it just kept going and going and going.
Well, it started before.
But it never hit.
Now,
it never hit like that.
You had several attempps when the Incredible Hulk.
Well, Christopher Reeve's Superman.
Yeah, Christopher Reeves. That's a Richard Donner film. Richard Donner would then go on to direct the Lethal Weapon movies.
Yeah, but let's be real. Superman 1 was good. The other ones, they were okay. Two
they were enjoyable.
2 was the one with Zod was good.
They were even the one with Richard Pryor. I mean, it was enjoyable. It was it's kind of like how we're describing the 60s Batman. It's like, well, yeah, it was cheesy, but
it was enjoyable.
Whatever, it was fun.
But it wasn't
enjoyable.
It wasn't big moneymaker. They weren't shaking dollars at it. No one was
not like this.
Batman did. Batman did it.
Batman did it with Tim Burton.
Yeah.
And largely because if you go all the way back, what inspired that, and this is where you start talking about comic books as IPs, intellectual properties. There's a word, fan. You're going to hear it a lot. For those of you who watch a show, intellectual property is, the IP. That's why you have so many comic book films. The comic books themselves don't really sell like they used to, but the property is there. That's why Warner Media owns DC, and why Disney bought Marvel. They wanted the whole package. It's the intellectual property that will make them money. They could care less if the comic books don't sell. They just want the intellectual property.
Yeah, but you know what? I think it's comics are starting to boom again too, man. Like, cause I go to comic book shops a couple times a week. You know what I'm saying? And they starting to go. So and then you got to pay attention. People want to pay attention to them now, right? New stuff's coming out, right? You want to be the first one to get this new stuff that you know is going to get turned into a show or a movie. If you grab a good book, you know what I'm saying? It happens all the time.
Invincible.
Right, Invincible.
All right. So I looked up. I'm getting a huge echo. I think somebody's got their speaker up too loud. I looked up the top grossing movie. So in the 70s was Superman. I mean, that's obvious because there was no competition. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but there's an echo. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you, but there is a loud echo. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Is there still an echo?
Okay. No.
Okay.
All right.
I got this list here. Hold on. Damn, I fucked it up. Where'd it go? There it is. Yeah, so in the 70s it was Superman. In the 80s, Batman finally beat it in 89. But prior to 89, Batman,
Superman.
it was Superman 2
Yeah.
that had top gross. It kicked its ass, dude. Like, it did almost 4 times the amount. And then in the 90s, top grossing would be
Spider-Man.
Batman Forever.
Ah. Hmm.
Blade did all right, but it didn't get anywhere near it.
Batman.
Well,
And
Blade
then
Blade was a property that actually wanted to take the source material very seriously.
You know what though? You got to give Blade his credit because without Blade, there probably wouldn't have been an MCU.
Yeah.
You know, Blade paved the way. Nobody gives it his credit. I thought it was a great movie.
it paved the way for a lot of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I don't know why they didn't get it earlier because Blade was rated R. You know what I'm saying? They should have known it's okay. People will go see a rated R comic book movie. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I guess it didn't gross enough.
It was what I would consider a cult classic. Like it didn't do that great
right
at that time, but just over history, over time, you know, it gained its respect.
Yeah, it still don't get its respect, I don't think.
For Blade, and besides, Blade wasn't actually marketed as a comic book movie because Blade was an obscure character at that point. It came across as an action movie with vampires in it. That's how they marketed it. Here's our action horror flick. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna put it's dead. It's Wesley Snipes, doing an action film character, and I think it's Wesley Snipes' best role was Blade, hands down.
He was perfect for that role.
Yeah, he really did sell it.
Yeah,
and I think like in the background as we're producers, some of them started to realize, we can start taking this franchise a bit more seriously. Let's see what we can pull up, because
even looking at the list of movies, though, I mean, look what it was up against, right? If we're going with the idea that
the Matrix,
well, no, I'm saying like along the superhero comic genre. I mean, you know, films shape culture, right? So if you have corny ass comic movies, that's going to be the culture of comics at that time. That's just what people believe it is. So when you look at the list, you have Batman Returns, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, Steel, and then Blade. That was the 90s. So putting Blade up against all that, I think people were just not ready for that. I think it was ahead of his time. I think it was an amazing film. I just don't think people were ready. People were looking at that fucking, people wanted fucking Alicia Silverstone, and you know what I'm saying?
The problem, what happened to Batman is Tim Burton stopped directing it right after the second one, and then they started getting into all this. It wasn't Batman. It was all this.
It was Joe
lights.
Schumacher.
It was.
He wanted to get back to the '60s. He wanted a friendlier Batman that people would go over.
They thought he was going too dark, which is stupid.
He was going too dark.
He's the Dark Knight.
In all honesty, with Tim Burton's films, he was going far too macabre. Say what you will, the first Batman film, great. Jack Nicholson as a Joker, great pick. Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
Oh yeah.
Here it comes in. You have Michelle Pfeiffer, who played a great character, but let's be honest here. That character was not Catwoman. The best film interpretation of Catwoman right now still remains in The Dark Knight Rises. And that's with Anne Hathaway playing the role of Catwoman. She played Catwoman perfectly. That's Catwoman in the comics. That's Catwoman even in the animated series.
I disagree.
I think I'm going to disagree here too.
Michelle
Pfeiffer did a great role.
She was
a great
she,
character.
Batman in the animated series pretty much wore Michelle Pfeiffer's outfit, except for it wasn't as risque because it was
But
a cartoon.
Catwoman
You
didn't
feel
lick
me?
herself.
Like,
Catwoman didn't lick herself.
Why
She
not?
use
did
a
you
billion.
watch? Did you watch Eartha Kitt?
I'm going to get there. In the
Come
Batman
on, man,
animated
like,
series, Catwoman was portrayed far more like the comic book. She's a thief. She just has a fetish for cats. She'll make a catty remark, but she doesn't say perfect. She doesn't run into any of that. There's no licking. There's no trying to put the cat punch. She doesn't have superpowers. She's just a highly skilled cat burglar with a cat
But I don't.
fetish.
I
That's it.
I don't think characters. I don't think characters have to follow its
Right.
prejudice.
No, they don't. They don't.
Right.
They don't.
I mean, especially not in the comic
Again.
universe. I mean,
But
we have
as anybody will tell
spin-offs
you-
all the time.
Exactly.
Yes, great. I guarantee that. But what is the number one rule that people ask? Batman was not a disciple of Ra's al Ghul. He wasn't. He
Right.
wasn't. Ra's al Ghul did not train Batman. Batman was
Right.
never a member of the
Right.
League
So-
of Shadows.
Right.
But
I mean,
that
that's-
origin story, every Batman fan will tell you, oh, we love it. We thought that was fantastic.
Right.
Great
So
way to introduce it.
so what does it matter?
But
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Catwoman-
Michelle Pfeiffer
again,
adding a sexiness,
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah,
a
she was great.
cat-like
yes.
like quality to that character. Like, so who cares?
Now, Michelle
It
Pfeiffer
worked.
to me, Michelle Pfeiffer to me is the best on-screen Catwoman we've seen. That's just
Yeah,
my
I'll go with
opinion.
that.
That's
Who's
my
the
opinion.
worst Catwoman you've seen on screen?
Nah, I like Anne Hathaway, but
No, not Anne Hathaway.
You
Who's
know.
the worst Catwoman? Y'all
who's the
forget
worst?
that one.
Oh, Halle Berry, of course.
Oh, what were they thinking?
Ah,
Good Lord.
yeah,
She was
what?
hot.
Oh,
She was hot,
Right.
and it was like, all
I
right.
mean,
I watched it a couple times. I had to make sure it was bad, you know.
yeah, I don't know if
Here's-
I'm willing to go as far as to say it was bad.
It was terrible.
bad.
It was terrible.
It was
terrible.
horrible.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
And that's such a shame because
The movie
Um,
sucked. Can I just say that?
It was
the
horrible.
movie sucked.
The movie
It was
sucked,
horrible.
but Halle
But
Berry
good
was
Lord, I
amazing.
mean, Halle Berry as Catwoman, I thought that would have been fantastic.
It
She's a
should have been. It was a
It
horrible
should have
story.
been.
Horrible story.
horrible story with the right actress. It's like what Disney did with, with Maleficent. You have the perfect actress to play her, Angelina Jolie, and you reduce Disney's greatest villain into a glorified babysitter in goth gear. Come on, really? That's what you're gonna do.
They
That's
like
what you do
money.
with your greatest villain, hands
They
down.
like money.
They
Shit.
like money, yeah. But
And then it's a different take on the story of Maleficent. You know what I'm saying? So basically, the one from the cartoons that we're used to.
Show day.
There it is, huh?
Yeah, she's again. Halle Berry was smoking.
Yeah, she was smoking. She was hot at that time.
I think I could have
She's
designed a
obese.
better.
So career-wise, she was hot. So they went after her.
I think I could have designed a better
But
outfit.
this-
That was a bit corny.
But
Now that I
but
look at
this falls into the
That
same
joint was
trap.
horrible. Now pull up Michelle Pfeiffer for me, dog.
Right?
Look at Michelle.
Shit.
You know, show you the best Catwoman.
Like Danny DeVito would have been great as the Penguin,
DeVito
but he was problem-
great.
the problem was that was more of a Tim Burton character more than it was the Penguin. I really wanted to
dude,
see.
I'm gonna disagree with
I
you
disagree.
again, dude.
Yeah, I
Like,
disagree.
I think he
No,
looked
that was-
like a
it's entitled to
fucking
their opinion.
penguin.
That was Penguin. He had the umbrella. He had these big.
Dude, he didn't even need that fucking
Like-
hunchback. Like, you could just
Nah.
take
Yeah,
fucking Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
man.
okay,
he was
that's what I'm getting at.
perfect.
He didn't need the hunchback. He didn't need the super waddle. I liked his voice work. I liked how Danny DeVito played him. How
was amazing.
slimy he made him.
He
How,
bit that.
you know,
He'd bite your
yeah.
nose off if he was here
Yeah,
right
bitch,
now. He'd
yeah.
bite your-
He was violent and ruthless that way. I like his line. I like his line. His twist on a great film, by the way. If you ever get to see it, The Elephant Man. He did a twist on the line from The Elephant Man. He said, "I am not a man. I am an animal."
Right.
Yeah, great twist take on it. The one-liners were there, and he goes right in front of Christopher Walken, spinning the umbrella. He's like, "Hey, is
Hmm.
that supposed to hypnotize me? No, it's supposed to give you a splitting headache."
But I mean, that's the good thing about these movies, man. You could make your own interpretation of it
Yeah,
because
and
I mean,
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But like I said, just again, my opinion. My opinion is Michelle Pfeiffer played a great character, great role. Oh, look at
What?
that! Look at that! She
What?
brought such appeal to the character.
how is that not
Such appeal.
Catwoman?
Yes,
Yowzers!
yeah. Come on, man. Great. That's
Yowzers!
Come
again.
on,
I
man.
love Michelle Pfeiffer in the role. Do not get me wrong. I love Michelle Pfeiffer in the role. I liked her
Mm.
performance as that character. I would have loved to have seen her in more than one movie. That's another thing. That was another thing.
That's
Sequels
not
are
her
just
No,
fault
man.
though.
just to be made.
I'm starting to think Irv wanted Brad Pitt as Catwoman. I'm just
No,
Yeah.
saying.
no,
Yeah, is that
no,
what it
no.
was?
Did you see ever read
I
Wizards
mean,
magazine?
come on.
Yeah, she
Right.
was great. She was great, but that character wasn't Catwoman.
So
That character wasn't Catwoman.
Wow.
that
Great
was Catwoman.
character,
That was
great
Catwoman.
Yowzers.
character. That was a Catwoman, but not the Catwoman.
That was
The
Catwoman.
Catwoman was Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, that's
She
because
played it
you like
perfect.
Anne
She was
Hathaway.
good.
No,
You
it's
got
not
a
because
thing
I
for Anne
liked it. It had
Hathaway.
nothing to do. I actually don't
She's
like
hot.
Anne Hathaway
She's
movies.
hot.
She
You
got
like
hot.
Anne Hathaway movies? Is that what it
I
is?
don't. No,
He got a
no,
whole collection of Anne
no.
Hathaway.
Good Lord. Good Lord. The teeny bopper thing? No. She got stuck on that for a long time. Like
Oh,
she couldn't get
shit.
away from that as an actress. She could
Yeah,
not get away from that.
I think she did good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
she
look at
did
that.
good,
A lot of
but it
people
took a
didn't like.
while.
A lot of people didn't like that interpretation of Bane. I loved it. You know
Oh,
what
it
I'm
was
saying? Without
fantastic.
all the venom and shit. You know what I'm saying? I loved
But
it. I
that's the
think it
thing.
was, you know,
But that's
That's the
Nolan's
thing.
thing, is
right.
to
That's
make it
Nolan's
more
thing.
realistic.
Make it more. Yeah, he
Yeah,
wanted it to
yeah,
exist. And
exactly.
even if you do take away the venom portion of it, his character is Bane from the comic books. Bane from the comic books is a cold, calculating terrorist who
Hmm.
will tear Gotham City a new one, and anyone else that
Well,
got in his
in
way.
some comics, because even in the comics, sometimes Bane's portrayed as a big stupid. You know what I'm saying? He's not this
Right.
smart thinking mercenary
Yeah,
like Bane.
that's writers that just don't get it.
Nolan's Bane was smart. He
Yeah,
had shit planned out. He wasn't just this big brute motherfucker. He knew what he was
no,
doing. You
he
know, he had a
was.
Yeah,
plan.
but to be fair, he wasn't exactly the planner, right? He was executing somebody's plan.
Yeah, he was executing someone. That's his
I mean,
purpose.
to a certain degree, you're right. Like
Sure.
he's
Yeah, they
not this
wanted to.
brainless buffoon,
Yeah,
Hmm.
but
they
it was his
they want.
loyalty to not just an idea, but
Right.
to this clan, to this
Hmm.
To the
person. You know
League
what
of
I'm saying?
Shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
League of Shadows, yeah.
Hmm.
And that shows his fanaticism, which was actually part of
Was it
the
fanaticism?
Bane when he came out in the comic books. He goes through when Bane comes out. It's a 12-issue series. Understand when Bane comes out, um, he releases all the villains from Arkham and from Blackgate Prison, breaks them out, and he
Yeah, but
watches
he
every
was
issue.
juiced up. He was the juice that he had the venom.
Yes, he
Bane
did.
always had his venom.
Yes, he did. But what he did throughout the 12 issues of Nightfall is he went ahead and watched everything that Batman did. He wanted to weaken him, he wanted to tire him, break his resolve, have him
Hmm.
fight all his worst villains at once in multiple times. And yeah, you see Batman getting worn out, getting born out. And then, have his own henchmen. That Bane had his own henchmen. And they would taunt the Batman. They would attack him at random times when it was just convenient, while Batman sort of had his guard down again to test Batman, to push him, see what his full capabilities were. So when Bane comes at him, yeah, he was ready for Batman. And Batman was weak and tired. And he did it recently in the newer comics again. He wanted to break Batman. Best way to do it was wear him down. Have him fight everyone else but you. Make him fight his way to you, and when you get to him, torture him, break him, whatever you need to. So yeah, Bane was a villain. There is that point where they do make him a dumb mercenary in some of the stories, which I'm like, God, yeah, guys, you didn't read. Whoever hired these writers, they hired them because they probably did a good couple stories, but they didn't do their follow-up work. And you got that with a lot of these superhero movies. Producers stepped in and they meddled. God, did they ever meddle?
That's the problem, man. These motherfuckers think they know more than the writers or the creators. You know what I mean?
Since
Or the
we're talking about
creators,
great producers and team, that's the MCU, man. Kevin Feige and his guys, man.
Yeah, boy.
Kevin Feige, he took a chance.
Look, they know comics, they nerds, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you see it in the movies. If they weren't real nerds, we would know. Because I'm going to tell you who aren't real nerds: the people who are doing the DCU. Who's ever doing them movies over there.
The movies, the movies, not the animated series.
No, the animated series in DC is amazing.
Dog.
Man, they are amazing movies.
I'm the DC animated, definitely. I mean,
animated. Not the movies though.
Nah,
yeah, I'm about to get there. Going into like where you did the 90s, because you forgot one set of movie series from 20th Century Fox, the X-Men films. And those started bringing up superhero movies as well into the big time. Because before Marvel was even a cohesive thing, you had 20th Century Fox's X-Men.
Hold on. I should say that now we're in the 2000s. Let me go through the top grossing.
Yeah.
We have Spider-Man. I mean, X-Men is worthy mention because it wasn't there. But the thing is that as the time goes on, these numbers get higher and higher. So, like for instance, X-Men grossed as much as like Batman Returns. You know what I'm saying? Like Batman, you know what I mean?
The first
like numbers
X-Men
just
film,
get higher and higher.
X-Men, the X-Men.
Right, let me just go through the list real quick.
Yeah.
All right. So X-Men honorable mention. Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, and then comes The Dark Knight, which killed it. So it made as much as Spider-Man.
So once again, Batman changed the game.
Right.
Batman.
Another Batman movie changed the game. And I think that's what this next Batman movie is going to do too, man. I got faith in this next one, man. I think if they keep this, it looks like it's going to be dark. It looks like it's going to be what Batman should be.
It's going to. It's done by the same guy that did.
He's in year two.
It's year two. And
He's
it's done
new
by
to
the
everything.
same.
All the villains are pretty new to, you know what I'm saying, what they're doing or where they're at in their careers and stuff. Not everybody's not established already.
I love it that you called it a career.
Careers.
Awesome.
That's their careers, dog. Look, if
Joker sits in his bed like
career villain. You know what I'm saying? What else can he do? He gonna stop being a villain and go get a job at Home Depot.
You see Joker at Home Depot and shit.
Right. Shit.
That's something we do in Harley Quinn. That's something they would do in Harley Quinn.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Eastwood, Nelson, have you guys watched that show, Harley Quinn?
Oh, the animated one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You guys haven't watched it?
I didn't even know. I didn't know there was one out.
It's on HBO Max.
It's on HBO.
Oh man, I think I just got it. I don't know. Let me check it out.
Fantastic.
That shit is dope, man.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, you might not want to let your kids watch it. It's rated R.
It is rated R.
Okay. Is this live action or animated?
It's animated, dog. DC flops on live action.
Right,
but this is an animated Harley Quinn series, dog. That shit is dope.
Is this in any way tied to the animated series Harley Quinn?
No, it's pretty much
It's an animated series called Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn
right,
doesn't
but
have
no,
an
no,
animated series.
he's
No, but
talking about
which Harley is it
Batman
based on?
animated.
Oh, which Harley is it based on? It's based on a comedic take of
Yeah,
the one you're now seeing in the live action movies and the one that's currently in the comic books. It's a
right,
Harley Quinn
right,
that goes from being villain to anti-hero to
yeah,
trying to be a good person.
right, yeah,
Trying
Okay,
with hilarious
sounds
results.
yeah.
good.
Because I'm reading her books right now, the new ones that just came out, and so basically she's trying to be a hero now. You know what I'm saying? She done got with Batman, and she's like, look, man, I'm trying to be a hero, but she done went to the Batman. She was like, what she said to do? She was like, yeah, I'm trying to work for you. You know what I'm saying? So, because she thought the man paid Robin and them to to be heroes. And
I mean, he's rich.
she was like, look, I'm trying to work for you, get that paycheck. And he
Right,
was like,
right,
that ain't how it works. You know what I'm saying?
Oops.
But it's pretty dope, man.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm gonna check
She
it
calls
out.
She's
herself
just really
the Girl
popular,
Wonder.
dog. So that's why they're taking her down this
So,
the
so let me ask you a
anti-villain,
question.
man.
What is the rated R? Why violence
Here,
or
yeah,
Violence,
violence,
sex,
language.
cussing.
now when we
Yeah.
say sex?
I don't think they
They
don't
don't
show
show
nobody
it.
fucking or
They
nothing, but
don't
yeah,
show it, but
yeah,
they're flippant about it when it's mentioned. It's just
yeah.
the jokes they make. They'll make
So it's
Stop.
it's, it's 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 Harley Quinn, and she got her little a little team with her. It's like
Cobb
it's Poison,
Squad,
Poison Ivy,
the Cobb Squad.
the Cobb Squad, yeah,
Yeah,
Poison
that was
Ivy,
great.
Killer, what's his name, Killer Shark, or
King
King
Shark,
Shark. Hey, dog, you gotta watch it,
Clayface.
dog. That
Yeah,
shit
it's
is
so worth it.
funny, dog.
I
Oh
Oh
think
my
my
god, it's
god.
hilarious.
I think my kids could handle that.
Yeah,
They
I'm
might
sure they can.
watch the first episode and then they might
Shit,
be able to.
hey, shout out. We were watching that zombie show Daybreak.
Daybreak.
Mm.
Dog, watch that joint. It's pretty
What's
dope. It's
what's
kind
that
of
on?
it's kind of falling off a little bit. Netflix.
Okay.
It's starting
What?
to fall off, but it
Watch
was really
Invincible.
interesting at first.
Watch
Huh?
Invincible. Invincible on
I
Prime.
saw it. It's on my queue.
Whew.
Yeah, it's on my
Whew.
queue.
Yeah.
When I'm talking about, oh my god, violent.
But see, there you go. But see, that's the thing. How many people do you think even knew that that was a comic book before it came to Amazon?
None.
They don't. Again,
None.
it was published under Dark Horse Comics, so
Yeah.
it wasn't even one of the big
And now the
comics. It
comic's
was the indie.
popular, so that's
Is
what I'm
that
saying.
cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
Invincible.
what you're talking about, man. Everyone's been posting like the fight scenes on that shit. I gotta
Dog.
Fight
check it
scenes
out.
are,
That
dude.
joint is serious. But now, like I said, now the comic is popular, you know what I'm saying? Because
Because
the
of the
show.
TV show.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically having the same thing as with The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
So
comic
that's what
books are
happens
being
though.
seen as an IP property.
Right. So
Um,
that's what happens. So every movie that's coming out, they're putting out comics so people can read up on these characters because they know they're gonna buy them to read. They got people like Shang-Chi, the Eternals, that people don't know about. So they got new runs of their comic books coming out right now,
yes.
so people can read up on them before the movies. Because a lot of people, like I'm reading up on. I ain't know too much about the Eternals, so I got the new Eternals thing. I'm about to get the Shang-Chi and read up on that because I don't know nothing about him at all. So that's the way to go.
Yeah, that's comic books basically go through a cycle.
Yeah.
At first, it's art imitating real life. They just threw art into it, and then you've got then it goes from there to as an IP to a movie studio or television studio or now streaming, and that's the property. That's again, that's where it goes to movie, and then it goes back recircle. It goes full circle back to the comic books. Walking Dead. The Walking Dead did well as a comic book. Wasn't great. It was indie. It did well enough to make a TV series. But once they made the TV series, what did everybody start doing? They start buying the Walking Dead graphic
Yeah.
novel.
Right.
They come on
That's
these
why I
big
started
fat
reading it.
omnibus.
That's why I started reading it.
It's cyclical. It's cyclical.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like one feeds the other, but not in any particular order.
Right.
Sometimes a movie can come out like Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck was buying Ant-Man
Mhm.
comics?
Well,
You know
no
what I'm
one.
saying? Right.
Ant-Man was
But
always
but
a
I
minor
guarantee the price
character.
of those comics have gone up. You know what I mean? Like,
Avengers. He's just an Avenger. That's
mhm.
he's been an adventure. And here's a funny thing with him being an Avenger. In the movies, it's the old guy that's the active character in the Ant-Man comics. Um, uh, Judd's character, he was a thief who had it for a few issues. That's it. That's it. That
All right,
the
guys, we
original
have
Hank Pym. He's go ahead.
I was just gonna say we have 4 minutes, so we gotta
All right.
wrap it up.
Yeah.
All
But
right. So
Hey, go ahead.
here's this.
in short, yeah. Look
Go
at
ahead.
look
No,
at
no, no. I
well,
was just gonna go fast forward to the future here. So we have let me see, Eternals, Spider-Man,
Nova.
uh Ant-Man, Black Knight, Avengers.
And you know what? This is just Marvel. This is just fucking ridiculous, though. This is just Marvel.
Jesus, dude. This is I mean, they a lot of this is so far ahead, they might scratch it like they scratched Gambit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm glad they did though, because they had Chayton Channing on that shit.
Yeah, I
don't fuck with
check
Chayton
him.
Channing.
Check him.
Chayton Channing. No.
Chayton Channing is Chayton Channing. God, you guys got me started on it.
Chayton Channing.
Chicka Chaman.
Chayton Channing.
Channing Chamuka.
So yeah,
I can't stand
Hey,
it.
real quick. I thought I saw an X-Force somewhere on some list. I hope that's true, dude.
No, it's not gonna.
That was my shit.
Well, you know what?
Go back and read it. Go back and read it. It was a terrible comic.
Stop.
It really was.
Fuck
It
you.
really was.
Fuck you.
And Rob Liefeld,
You're fired.
No. Oh God, no.
But you know what though? This is what I'm waiting for, right? And it's about to happen. And I'm waiting for the studios to stop paying attention to just Marvel and DC, right? Because Image and other smaller studios, they have some amazing properties, man.
Oh, Wildcat.
But I'm talking about even new stuff right now. So the joint Keanu Reeves got, man. Netflix, he put out one book, one comic, and Netflix picked him up for a show.
Yeah,
picked him up for a show. Berserk.
Berserk.
Dog, the second book sold out. I got it, of course, because I got the they picked my books for me or whatever. But joint sold out. Like that joint is hot because everybody knows it's gonna be hot too, and the joint is dope. It's got 2 books out right now. Dog, dope.
Yeah, as IP properties, comics are big. There's not big as comics, but as IP properties.
But now that shows, now that people see we can do it in shows so much, you know what I'm saying? A lot, it's gonna happen that way.
They don't have to invest as much as
it don't have to be this big budget movie.
Well,
show.
Well, here's where it comes in. So when you had like say you had the Dark Knight, which broke the billion mark. It broke that billion mark with the Dark Knight. And it was a masterpiece, according to Roger Ebert,
by the way.
Roger Ebert and
that's Joker, Heath Ledger.
Yeah. Ebert and Roper, they both agreed. It was a masterpiece.
Yeah.
They thought the Batman Begins was the film that Batman fans have been waiting for, which was true. It really was. But the Dark Knight was a masterpiece.
Masterpiece.
Filming, yeah.
Heath Ledger. Greatest Joker ever.
Yeah.
Oh man. Notice he says that bullshit. Notice he says that bullshit at the 1 hour mark.
Hey, but ain't this how Batman be doing shit, yo?
Where'd he go?
Where'd he go? Yeah, so
Nah, ain't no so, man. It's 1 hour, my dude.
All
All
right.
right, wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Yeah. So nowadays, in short, so you had those shows. They went from movie, then they started doing big budget movies at the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Disney Plus exists because of the Marvel properties. You went there for
Yes.
the Disney Vault. You stayed for all the Marvel. Stayed for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So it's the big money maker. DC is finally getting its stuff together. So my big question to you, Nelson, is: have you watched the Snyder Cut yet? You need to. You
Yeah, you
need to.
think so, man? I got mixed
Yes.
reviews on it. I wasn't sure if I
No.
wanted to waste
No.
8
No.
hours of my
No.
day.
No. It's a master class in watching what editing can do to a
Yeah,
film.
you
You're
you had mentioned that
basically
before.
watching two different movies tell the exact same story.
Well, here's the
It's the
thing.
same story, but it's two
Here's
different
the thing,
movies
man.
telling it.
I fell asleep within the first 15 minutes of the original, so it's honestly like I'm
Yes.
watching.
The beginning's not the same. The beginning's not the same.
No,
Everything
no, no,
starts
no,
off
no. I
entirely
get
different.
that. What I'm saying is, I don't. It won't mess it up in my brain because this is like my first time watching it. So
Oh, okay. So, but it's
anyway,
definitely worth a watch. And this brings into another. I think I even brought this up when the last time we spoke.
mhm,
The idea of a long movie that may not necessarily need to be in theaters. You can place it through streaming or do both. Add
right.
an interlude. I promise you. The Snyder Cut is broken up into chapters. Try to see if you can turn off after chapter 4. I couldn't. Once you're done with chapter 4, you're like, no, I got to finish this.
Yeah,
Once
I
you get to
got you.
chapter 4,
I'll give it a
there,
shot. How about that? I'll give it a
give it
shot.
a shot. Worth it. Sit down with the kids and watch it. It's only rated R because of the heavy subject matter.
Yeah,
It is
dude.
a bit
Listen,
mature in
dude.
that.
Aside from like, I don't know, man. I let my kids watch anything. Like
Yeah,
aside from like lewd sexual acts,
it's not there. It's not there. That's not there.
um,
That's
I
not
don't
there.
I don't care if it's listen. If it's two human beings under a sheet making love, like I'm not the parent that's gonna. My kids will cover their eyes anyway.
I
You know what
can't
I'm
speak on
saying?
that because what got me into geekdom was the film Alien. I saw that at I was either 9 years old, I
Mhm,
think, 8 or 9.
yeah,
This is like in 1980
I hear you, dog.
when it came out, and that's when I saw it. I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, this is the greatest movie ever."
yeah, man.
It's like,
Real shit.
yeah, when you're a little kid and oh yeah,
Hey,
the chest
we
burster
should
came
do
out.
we should do an episode, man, on alien films.
Yeah, let's do it
Everything
on alien
alien.
films.
All right, man.
Just aliens in general. All right,
1 hour, man.
peace out.
Thanks for coming on. Thank you, Clice Eastwood, for joining in. We needed that third voice. Um, and thanks, Big Swerve. You know what I'm
Always a
saying
pleasure.
for showing up late, but it's okay. Go eat your meatloaf. You know what I'm saying.
Go get the
Thanks to
meatloaf.
everybody for tuning in. Please, please, please like, share, and subscribe. Most of all, man, I would just say share this shit. We got to grow our community. Also, we have the Facebook group. Please share content on there and
Content.
share the content from there.
Ask
Um,
questions. What would you
yeah,
like?
man.
What topics would you like discussed? And how deep do you want us to go in it? Can we just skim the surface? This is 101, so we're not going to go too
Yeah,
hard.
man.
But if you
And
do want
also
us to dip into it, sure, why not?
absolutely, man. Drop comments on ideas, but every time I post it, man, if you feel like you have some knowledge, some sort of authority on it, or you just want to join in the conversation, send me a message, man. I'll send you the link to here, or you could just comment from YouTube if you don't want us to see your ugly mug. But hey, man, thanks for tuning in, guys. I really
That's
appreciate it.
good.
I definitely want to keep doing this. So
It's the nerdology community. Welcome, class. We love your input.
all right,
Subscribe
ladies
and
and
click on that
gentlemen,
bell.
we are out. Boom.